Hi, I'm Aaron, and welcome to my DIY channel, I'm Just a Guy. I've made quite a few mistakes on my DIY journey, and I'm okay with that. A lot of the pages out there, they show you exactly what you need to do to get the perfect project, the perfect product. And I'm going to show you that that's not always true. It's not always going to come out perfectly, and that's okay. This channel is all about learning from those mistakes, getting better, and finishing the project. I'll be sharing projects I've done around my house, the skills I've picked up, the tools I've used, and lots more. From drywall and painting to flooring and small electrical work, you'll get a real look at how things get done, mistakes included. If any of that sounds interesting, stick around for a quick look at some of the projects I'll be covering. Flooring is going to be one of the first projects that I am going to talk about. It's kind of important, and it's kind of important to get right. So this spot in the floor right here, and you get to walk through it, walk over it every single day. I left a little bit extra overlap on the underlayment, and so there's a nice little, nice little bow in this. So every time you walk in the house, you get to step on a little squiggly part, and that's not fun. And in order to fix that, I have to take up all the rest of this section over here just so I can take that out. And that's a lot of work. So will it get done someday? Maybe. Is it going to get done anytime soon? Probably not. There's going to be a lot to show you with these floors. This was the first set of floors that I've ever done, so there were a lot of lessons learned, and there's just going to be a lot of fun things to show. So we'll see how that goes. I'll get some close-ups of some things to talk about, and yeah, so that's the first one. All right, so along with flooring comes baseboards. These were probably the most challenging thing that I have had to do in my DIY experience so far. Oh, these are filthy. My wife's gonna be pissed if I show these. There's also transition pieces that we will need to talk about. We'll get there. So one of the biggest lessons that I've learned is when you are mitering corners that most corners in a house aren't going to be 90 degrees exactly. And so when you try and miter a corner at 45 and 45, things are not going to match up nicely. So that's a quick recap on the floors in the living room. There were a lot more mistakes made, and I will go over those in a more in-depth video at a later time. Alright, so project number 2 that we are going to be talking about is the entirety of the laundry room. It was a massive project. It took, well, I mean, technically it's still not done, but it has taken almost 2.5 years to work on in its entirety. Starting with the doors. I built these doors from scratch. Out of just 1x4 planks and some fence pieces, tongue and groove fencing. I installed the barn door rollers myself, all of the hardware, and so this was a project in itself. As you can see, there's still some staining that needs to be completed after some mistakes were made in mounting this hardware. I put them in the wrong spot, so I had to fill these holes and sand that down, and I still need to restain them. So that's along the entirety of this. Thankfully they work. So we'll go ahead and open those up. So we have the laundry room. Alright, so the work done in the laundry room itself. So me and my buddy Alex Huss, his page is Close Enough Woodworks. I'll go ahead and link that in the description. He helped me. This was the third project done in the house, and so it was still at the very early stages of my DIY experience. So I definitely still needed some help, and his expertise and experience was very important. After I ripped out the drywall, all of the drywall, because there was some wetness at the bottom and I was worried that there may be mold behind there, I had him come in and he helped me get everything moved around. We moved around the outlets. We created a new exhaust for the dryer vent. What else did we do in here? He helped me put all the drywall up. He and I built this shelving unit. Very impressive. He came in, drew it up on the back of an envelope. We went to the store, grabbed the supplies, and we built that in basically a day. So that was very impressive on his part. I learned how to mud, tape all the seams, learned how to texture, learned how to prime and paint all of this. I did not do the wallpaper. That was done by my mother-in-law. She did a very good job. But yeah, this also put the floors in. The only thing that I had paid for was having the plumbing recessed into the wall, so that we could push the washer and dryer all the way up to the wall. I put this IKEA floating shelf in. As you can see, it's a little saggy, so you know, lessons learned. For this, I had to cut open the drywall here, and so that I could find the studs and make sure that this was going in exactly where it needed to, because when I first put it in, I missed most of the studs and it was not going to support the weight of the doors, because they are quite heavy. So went ahead, put that in, re-drywalled it, textured, painted, and I'm happy to say that it looks, that's one of the probably better things that I've done in this house. That's turned out really well. Alright, so doing a little close-up on the doors themselves. What I was talking about earlier is the mistake I made. I put these, I measured incorrectly, and I put these a little too far away from the edge, and so when the doors opened, they would hit the wall, and so I had to move these over, and so obviously you can see where those holes were. So I just filled those with wood filler and sanded them down, and I still need to go back and texture.